Just three ordinary people from the hills of eastern Kentucky. We don't have all the answers, but we do have all the questions. This is the Just Add Bourbon podcast with Jimmy Don, JD, and Don. Welcome, everybody, to the Just Add Bourbon podcast. I'm Jimmy Don Kirk.
I'm Dawn Giesica.
I'm JD Damon.
And it is another beautiful Sunday evening here in the hills of eastern Kentucky. And after Super Bowl weekend, we're glad to be back to kind of talk about all the current events that have been going on this past week. JD and Don, how are we today?
Good. We're doing good. How are you, JD?
I am on the struggle bus. I ain't gonna lie. I told you all before we get them on. I need to start making better decisions in my life. Yeah, so I'm here. I'm glad to be here. It's a Sunday evening, and let's get at it. I'm with it. Let's do it.
If you guys will go ahead. I'm sorry, Don. Go ahead.
It's always good seeing you boys. I love hearing how JD though is like, I'm always going to make better decisions after the weekend.
I like it when he says, I'm getting too old for this. You know, that cracks me up. And I try to tell him, I said, JD, you were too old for this like 20 years ago. But, hey, rock on for keeping on trying, baby.
Hey,
I love it.
Don't let Jimmy Don fool you. He loves to hear my stories.
100% I live vicariously through JD.
I know, we all do.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Hey, look, you only live one time, right? We have learned that. You only live one time, so have at it.
Yeah.
Facts. So if you guys will indulge me for just a second, I want to start the show off by saying happy birthday to my second true love. Today is Ashton's 16th birthday. It's hard to believe that she's 16. We've been having the birthday month extravaganza. She started February 1. It's my birthday month. And I'm like, honey, it's not for like 19 days. She was like, it's my birthday month. So we've basically been celebrating, and I guess we'll continue to celebrate till February is over. Thank God there's only 28 days. I can't afford it if it were 31. So, but no, happy birthday to my baby.
Happy birthday, Ashton.
Happy birthday, Ashton.
Jimmy Don, show us a picture of her. She's such a beautiful girl, too. Such a good kid. Wow, yeah, 16.
I've seen all the I don't know if you have them on.
Look at that baby. Yeah. Happy birthday, girl.
Happy birthday, Ashton.
Oh, my goodness.
I've seen all the pictures from there. I guess y'all had what did y'all have, like a dance or something? What y'all do?
Dude, you know how Amy Curry is. So
I do. I seen the pictures. I was like, wait, I didn't get invited to this. What's going on?
Yeah. No. So I took them to the Kentucky game yesterday. Yeah. I took Ashton and three of her friends. Haley, of course, went and took them down to the UK game yesterday. Awesome environment. I was glad to be able to take them because they had really good seats. Yeah. And then Rupp Arena was Rupp Arena. And it was loud. I mean, it was so live because we got down and then we came back. And so that pepped the crowd up and everybody got pumped. And so it was a fun game to go to. So we did that. I took them to Malone's afterwards. They're funny, JD. I mean,
they're a good time, man. Those girls are a good time.
They're a lot of fun. And Brad told me it was funny because Brad went with me and sat with me, and then the four girls went. And Brad said, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. He said, I was kind of dreading this, in a sense. He said, but I've had a ball. Yeah, he said, they're a hoot. And they are. They're a lot of fun. We went to Malone's. I got sushi for them and let them try all these different things. And everybody was eating off each other's plates. It was, I don't know, it was just fun. And then we came back home, and then they did some kind of, I don't know, they got dressed up, and there was a herd of kids in my house last night. You know how it rolls up here in the Kerr household. If we ain't got 25 in here, we ain't doing it. So,
right.
But no, they did that. Then got up this morning. We all went to my Aunt Rita's, and my aunt had cake and all that stuff. All the girls went, and I let Haley drive me home. JD, Haley is a permitted driver now, so I let Haley drive us home, and she did well. She did a good job. Yeah, JD's taught her well.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's so funny. Like the Haley, me hanging out with her. And then, hear those stories about her being funny stuff. Like that kid is my child. There's no doubt about that.
Oh no, she's cut from you
100%. Bless her heart and her little boyfriend's heart. I don't know.
Yeah, no, she's 100% JD's kid. I know JD pretty well now, and I know Haley pretty well, and that's 100% JD's child.
Oh, that's precious. Well, happy birthday, Ashton.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I thank you guys for letting me do that. But that's my girl. I'll never forget. I'd never forget the day she was born. I mean, I cried like a baby.
Yeah. No, you
know,
never forget that.
It was crazy, but no, I thank you guys for letting me do that. It's awful proud of her. So, I don't know, what do we want to get into here? I mean, we usually start the show off by talking about Kentucky basketball. They had a big win yesterday. I thought Cal did actually. I know Don. We like to argue with Don about Cal, but I thought Cal did a good job yesterday. He made some adjustments during that game that really brought them back, and to win without our two best players, essentially. I mean, I don't know if they're the two best, but two of the most important. And we beat a good Alabama team, and so.
Yeah, no, that was a brilliant move because he's right. You have to have your backups ready for their opportunity. He even said he took a play out of Saban, Nick Saban, who's arguably one of the best coaches ever in collegiate history. So he said he took a page out of that playbook, said, let's get our backups ready. That way, when they have their opportunity, they're ready to play. I thought it was a brilliant move. He's got a good coaching staff. What makes a good coach is not the individual, it's the entirety of it. So I like how he's going, but no, I don't look through a blue lens like you two do in the least.
Oh, I want look through that blue lens.
I want more titles out of my coach and out of my team. One title is not enough for the talent that we pump through that school. So
no, I agree with that too. I do actually agree with that.
Yeah.
No, we didn't play well against Tennessee. That was a train wreck.
Oh no, that was a train wreck.
But no, I just tell you, Tennessee was ready for that game, man. Tennessee's
good. Like the fact that we beat them as bad as we did in Rupp blows my mind.
We embarrassed them.
They're really good. We embarrassed them, and then they embarrassed us on their home floor. Like it was.
That wasn't an embarrassment. That was ill preparedness. It wasn't an embarrassment. A 13-point loss is not an embarrassment. Not by a team that was ready and hungry and always prepared. We're always getting beaten Thompson bowling. Calipari has to do something about that. I used to be able to go to bowling and have the best time of my life, but now I'm always coming out with an L. I don't even entertain it anymore because Tennessee fans are so tough. We were ill prepared. We were outplayed. We were out energized. That's how that was. I know that we didn't have Ty, but that's not good enough an excuse for what we did.
That guy shut Grady down too, though.
They did. Shut Grady down.
Grady has got to learn. That's right, JD. Grady has got to learn how to get loose. Did you watch Alabama? What was it, Ellis yesterday? He was getting loose no matter what. Yeah. You could put the whole team on him, and he was getting loose. But Grady has got to get loose if we're going to take it all the way.
Well, that was one of the moves that Cal made that was interesting. Is they had Grady start bringing the ball down the court. And it made him, as far as the offense go, because he hit 7 threes yesterday. So it allowed him to get loose, which was interesting because he was having Mintz bring the ball up and Grady couldn't get loose. Well, then they started having Grady bring the ball up, and all of a sudden he starts getting loose. And then they put Toppin on Ellis. And we shut Ellis down for about 15 minutes straight.
I love Toppin.
I love Toppin. I love when Grady wasn't looking and he got hit with that ball and he picks it up.
Yeah, they picked it up.
Oh my God. Okay, then. It was so casual. Casual. You get hit with the basketball in the arse and you turn around and you're like, yeah, that was a great one.
One of my favorite, I don't know, like as far as like people getting dunked on, right? When somebody gets dunked on, that's nasty. But one of the nastiest plays in all of basketball is when Grady did this to a dude yesterday, crossed a guy over, broke his ankles. The guy fell down, and Grady stepped back and knocked a three down his face. I love that. I think that is so bad.
Yeah.
Gosh, you watch The Professor? You watch those videos of the Professor? Yeah. I watch them all the time on YouTube, but I love that stuff too. He does people that way all the time. Well, we even talked about the Super Bowl and stuff.
No, we haven't seen each other. Yeah, we haven't seen each other.
So, what about those Bengals guys?
I thought they did good.
I thought they played good. I thought they were in a game that they probably shouldn't have been in. And it really wasn't.
No, you don't mean that.
No, I do, because the only play
they were good.
They did well, but as the game went on, it exposed their weakness because Donald and them started teeing off. I mean, just bull rushing, teeing off. And
that's a man, though, ain't he? I swear.
Oh my goodness! And the only thing, the major score, the only long play we really had was on a pass interference call, an offensive pass interference call that didn't get called. Now that's on the refs that they didn't call that. Our guy made a great play, we scored, but outside of that, and our defense played. I thought the Bengals defense played really, really well.
I thought they did good.
Yeah.
I mean, the same could be said that if the Rams were so superior, then why did we only lose by 3?
No, that's a great point, Don.
I
Really.
mean,
No,
because numbers are numbers.
So,
Yeah, you're right.
I think
If they're
one thing that
if the Ra-
I'm sorry. One thing he
I'm
gets
sorry,
overlooked
go
though is Zach Taylor does a really good job. He really does.
He really did.
The Bengals head coach guy, he's a young guy,
Mhm.
but he's coming. His team's well prepared.
Yeah.
They made good adjustments. You know, they did against Kansas City twice and beat them. You know, so that's a good coaching staff he's got together in Cincinnati. If they can keep them together, they can make some noise for years to come. You know, with Burrow and Chase and.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think if they spend some money and they've got a lot of cap room.
Yeah.
So if they go out and spend some money, really secure that offensive line, they got a couple needs on defense. But I mean, with Burrow back there, like it could be fun to be a Bengals fan for the next 10, 15 years. Like,
Sure.
I mean, I think they can be legit.
Yeah, and how exciting is it to have
I agree.
you know,
Did you guys
Mahomes
see-
and Herbert and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow?
Yeah.
I mean, the NFL, man, like as much as I like college ball, I really, really enjoyed the NFL playoffs this year. I really had.
Yeah, it was really good.
A good time. And
Yeah.
every game was, you know, walk-off field goal, walk-off touchdown, and even the Super Bowl, same way, you know,
Yeah.
go down at the end of the game. and-
Speaking of the NFL quarterbacks, did you guys see where Stafford was pulled into some controversy about the photographer that fell off of the stage in front of him and his wife? Did you guys see
I
that?
didn't see that. No.
No.
Yeah. So I went back and watched the replay because I thought, I wonder, because mainstream media, you can't really believe anything that they say. But I went back and watched the video, and sure enough, Stafford and his wife are on a stage. This photographer's turned around, taking a picture of him. She falls completely off the stage. Stafford turns around, looks to his wife and says, "That's bad," and walks away. And the wife rushes toward the photographer. All of this backlash comes up, because people are like, this is rude. I guess they had him on camera saying that's bad or something to that effect. But
Right.
now Stafford has announced today that him and his wife are going to be paying for her hospital bill. So I guess the girl was like legitimately injured on this fall. So I thought that was a little interesting caveat into who Stafford is. Because, I mean, let's be honest. If you two watch somebody flip off of a stage, I would imagine that Jimmy Don and JD, you both would at least go over and go, "Hey, you okay?" But he didn't. He took off.
Depends on who it is, Don. I'm kidding. Depends.
I think you'd be like,
If it's JD, I might have pushed. I don't know. But
You would definitely laugh.
I would definitely, if somebody falls like that, you would think you would jump down because those stages are pretty high up. Like that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's something. So I don't know, just the interesting little.
I hadn't heard that though.
I keep up with pop stuff too. So
apparently,
that's
Mahomes
interesting.
is there's something going on right now saying that Mahomes has talked to his brother and his wife and tell them can't come to the games no more.
Seen that too.
Hurt his brand real bad. It's like I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but I can see it being truthful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I saw some kind of video. There was Mahomes like went away and like stepped away from his wife. They were at a ball game or something, and he says something to her, and then she rolls her eyes, and I don't know. I don't know if that was all about.
Yeah.
It was just I happened to see that, and I was like, well, that's interesting. Yeah, because they really a lot of times it had become as much about them as it was Patty Mahomes. People were talking about them on the pop side, so I could see where he would have a problem.
That's a problem. That's a problem, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
no, I agree with both of you guys. You do not want to be overshadowed by bad behavior from your family, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So let's talk about something exciting for us that we've got coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Don that made the post last week about we're going to be hosting some debates for the local elections here. Seems to be quite a bit of interest, guys, from the candidates that are running to, kind of get out and kind of talk. And apparently they did something like this. Years ago, they would call it something at the courthouse is what they called it. But I guess candidates would get up and kind of do their platform. But I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I think could be very good for our county when it comes time to make a decision about who to vote for. Don, what's your thoughts on that whole thing?
Oh gosh. Well, first off, let's go ahead and give JD applause because it was a great idea. He texted us and said, "Hey, I think this is a good idea. That way all the citizens of Martin County can have a chance to look at all their candidates. And this way, if you come out to these Martin County debates and you listen to your candidates and then you go back and you vote for X, Y, Z or A, B, and C, you have no room to complain. Come out to these debates, ask the questions, and listen to their answers and make an informed decision on who you want." But I thought it was a great idea that JD has. We have everybody has signed up. We have only a handful of people who haven't responded yet to the invitation. But as far as I know, as far as what I see, we could run with everybody who has signed up right now. We could have the best debates that Martin County has seen. And Jimmy Don, I think you're right. I think they were called a speaking, weren't they? Back in the day,
at the courthouse
they
or
had
something like that. Yeah,
speakings. Yeah. So we're kind of like JD's idea was like just fine tuning that back into the debates because that's the new version. But they used to be called speakings. Now they're debates. We're all going to be there. Everybody needs to come out. Tell your neighbors to come out. Carpool. Do whatever you got to do. But let's get out there. Yeah, big
Knox,
brain on JD.
I'm more than just a pretty face, Knox. I just tell you right now.
I'm gonna have to take the comment control away from JD because he's gonna.
Hey, you don't have to put that comment up, right, brother? Come on.
That's cute. But I'm so excited. Are you guys excited?
Yeah, I really am. I honestly feel like we are at a very pivotal moment for Martin County.
Yes,
I really feel that way. I really do. And it's really important that we don't go out and vote for our friends or our cousins or our neighbors. We go out and vote with somebody with some vision and some competency. And so that's why, it's important to do these things. And that's why that's my thought process behind this whole thing.
No, JD, I think you're very right. And it was, Don's right. It was a great idea. I'm excited about it. I'm going to get to, moderate as well as participate, since I'm running for magistrate in my district. And so I'm looking forward to getting up and talking with the other candidates about what their ideas are and what their visions are. And JD's right, Don. It is a very pivotal time. And I have heard a lot of things, since being involved, in what I'm involved in with the water district. I'm working down in Frankfort and, doing the things that I've been doing the last, several years. There is a concern about how if we can govern ourselves or not. And
sure.
And that's scary to think that people downstate would be thinking something like that there is a concern. What can we govern ourselves? And there's a lot of cases to be made that we can't. And it's important. And I think especially this election, it's very important that people get out, hear who these candidates are. Like what JD said, that it's about a vision. We've got to have a vision to move forward. It's not political speak. It's some people who can go in, do the work, and put some plans into action to try to make our home better and give our kids an opportunity. We have a massive brain drain here in this community, a massive brain drain. And to be able to, keep some of our kids home so that we can grow as a community is very important.
It's not only important, it is vital. If Martin County wants to stay Martin County, you have got to keep your youth there. And for years, for decades, our generation has let our youth down. And that's a fact. That's not being offensive. This is just a fact. You can look around and more people are outbound than they are inbound to Eastern Kentucky.
Absolutely.
Ought to stop that. Okay. I totally agree with you and JD. It is time to look past who is your friend, who did you a favor 20 years ago, who's your cousin. It is time to look at the person and look at their ideas and their vision for the county. And that's where people are going to have to put their vote. No more voting for family. You see where that's got you. This is a results-oriented thing. Politics is results-oriented, right? You get your evidence in front of you. Your results are in front of you. Martin County needs to look at themselves. Do you have jobs? Do you have everything that you need to keep your kids living there generation after generation? If the answer is no, you need to show up at these debates and you need to press these candidates on what their vision is. No more, I'm related to this bunch and this bunch has 30 kids and this bunch has 50 kids. To heck with that. It is time to tell us what you're going to do to bring Martin County up to where we're comparable to Pike County, Floyd County, and Johnson County. We're being left behind, guys. This is our home.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the things with this debate, I look forward to asking about specifics. I don't want to hear a bunch of broad things that sound good. I don't want to hear a bunch of, tickle in my ear. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear the brass tacks. What are you going to do? Why are you better? Why are you better for Martin County? Why right now? You know what I'm saying? And
absolutely.
That's those questions that need to be asking. Don and I are going to recuse ourselves from doing the District 2 debate because Jimmy Don will be up there. And there's no way I could be unbiased. I just tell you right now, I need to recuse myself from that.
Yeah.
But we will make sure that it's going to be done right. And absolutely going to be done right.
JD, I don't know that Dawn. I don't know that Dawn
JD.
really needs to recuse herself. She would go after me and you. And
Yeah.
She don't even care.
Well,
She don't even care.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, thank you, JD, for bringing it up. I told you all when I was in college many years ago, you know how we all have to take speech, like it's a forced one. You have to take speech, right? Well,
sure.
Believe it or not, I did so well, or I wouldn't shut up in speech. It's one or the other, that he pushed me into a debate class. So I would go over to my professor's debate class just for giggles, right? And anyway, so my point is, I'm glad you brought that up. When it comes to these debates, we want you guys to know that we're working with people. We're working with professionals. We're going to be media. We're going to be working with multiple people to make sure that this debate is fair, balanced, and honest and well ran. There will be time limits on each of the questions. We will not be handing out questions, but I think we have decided that we are going to consider some questions from the audience, but we'll have to look at those and pick those. Is that right, guys? You guys are basically sitting in on the meeting right now about the debates.
Right, absolutely. And go ahead. I know you'll put that up there. You can go ahead.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
This is the pandering I'm talking about, Eric.
I love Eric.
No,
I love Eric. That's right. Pigeon Roost, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious, Eric. But we're so excited.
Yeah, we are excited. And you know, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Up.
But I'm excited for this. I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's something that needs to be done. It should have been done a long time ago here. And here's what I was going to say. This debate, we're not going to go over here and talk about your sister's, brother's, uncle's keeper, what your kids done in high school. We don't care about that. We want to care about the job that you're signing up to do. That's what we want to know about. So if you want to come out there and think it's going to be a rumor mill or rumor fest, that's not what this is going to be. We're going to be professional. Right. We're going to do it right. And we're going to hold ourselves very accountable to a very high standard.
Yeah. And we're looking to bridge with, like I say, we're bridging with everybody. We're bridging with the local media. We're bridging with everyone. We want this to be as fair and as open as it can possibly be, to where everybody gets the truth of what these candidates are going to do for your area and then for the county as a whole. We're real excited to have the judge candidates up there, the county clerk candidates up there, the sheriff candidates, all the magistrates. We've even got constables coming up. I mean, everybody's coming up. It's exciting. Martin County needs to be on fire for this. I agree with Stephanie's comments. Yeah, totally. Did you guys see that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because the money is good and you don't have to do much, but go to a meeting every now and then. And that has been the mindset, Stephanie, for a long time here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've heard
I love that.
Out of elected officials' mouths. I've heard it.
Right.
One thing I will say about this that excites me, honestly, is I think we have some really, really good people running for office.
I do too. We've got some good candidates, man. I mean, there's some good people out there.
Tough races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, this judge race is going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This District 1 magistrate race, I don't know what's going to happen with that. But those are two good guys that are both capable people. And I think it's a good thing that they're going to have a platform to express ideals, and we get to be a part of it. I'm very excited.
No, I agree. Win or lose, when I looked at the candidate list, I thought these are all good problems to have. Because
Absolutely.
all of these people are tired. They are just tired and they want to fight for progress. So I think it's all looking good. It's going to be a really good debate. We're super excited.
No, I absolutely. And stay tuned for that. Don will be putting stuff out, and JD will too, on our social media platforms as that kind of shapes into form. And we're looking forward to the partners that we're working with, to do this very important thing for our county. Because JD said it right. This is an important election for our county, and we got to get this right as a community. So,
yeah. And last thing I will say, the Martin County Tourism Board already allowed us to use of the old courthouse. So that's right. That will be the side of the debates.
Yes,
dude, I love that old courthouse.
I love it.
Awesome.
It's my favorite. So yes, thank you so much, the Martin County Tourism Board. We so appreciate you guys being so open to allowing all this stuff. It takes a lot to allow all these new ideas, and the tourism board so far, everything JD, because let me tell you, JD comes up with some ideas and he's shooting them out left and right, and they've been so open. And that right there, guys, is a huge sign of progress. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it. We hope to fill that courtroom up 2 times over. We hope it's standing room only. And I think it will. These debates are going to bring everybody out. So, and it's an exciting time to be a Martin Countyan, exciting time to be Eastern Kentuckian.
Absolutely. Well said, Don. Well said.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into some of our other topics this week. And Don,
well, that's fine.
Yeah, now let's go after it. Well, we'll save that for a little bit. You might have to hang on for that. I wanted Don, because Don brought this up in our kind of pre-talk before we came on, is that this has been a big week for women issues or women's issues. And so, Don, will you kind of start us off with that? Kind of just pick your first one that you want to talk about, and then we'll talk about them.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jimmy Don. So we were watching, you guys know I watch social media and I kind of keep a pulse on what's going on with different things that's happening in pop culture plus politics. And I noticed this really big story blowing up with Linda Evangelista. The girls watching will know her, but you boys would too. You would recognize her face. She was one of the original supermodels, super hot. She was one of the ones that said, I think she was the one that said that she does not get out of bed for anything less than $10,000 a day. So Linda spoke about on several of the trending talk shows that talk about hot topics and things of that nature. So they were talking about it and discussing this cosmetic procedure that Linda had. So there's in this society for women in this day and age, as you guys know, we are under pressure all the time to hang on to our youth as much as we can and to have a certain body shape and a body form and a certain look. And you have daughters, you've bound to have noticed some of this pressure, okay? Whether it's keeping your hair done or whether it's if you have an acne breakout, then you can't go to school, or if you've gained too much weight or if you have too little weight. Anyway, it's a mess. So Linda Evangelista, she went and she had this cosmetic procedure done. And it's a laser that's supposed to go in and it's supposed to freeze fat cells and keep the cell from getting larger. In the very fine print of this cosmetic procedure, it can actually do the reverse. So this supermodel goes in, she has it done in various places of her body, her armpits, her waist, and her chin. And it did the reverse. So it caused these large lumps to come up on her. So these aren't soft tissue lumps. These are more firm, hard lumps around her. This woman went into hiding for 5 years. So finally she comes out and she sues. She puts this big lawsuit on the company that owns the laser and that markets the laser about it making you thinner and helping you to be, have less fat, right? Right. So she puts this lawsuit out. Well, when she puts this lawsuit out, it explodes. And the girls who are listening tonight, I'm sure they followed this a little bit and may even participated in it, but I have watched the comments. So when she puts this lawsuit out, it explodes. The news picks it up and they start sharing these stories on social media. When you share a story on social media, we all go to the comments, right?
Of course. Yes.
In those comments, 99% of those comments were women and 99% of those comments were trashing Linda Evangelista for having a cosmetic procedure done. They didn't care anything about her mental wellness. They didn't care anything about the fact that she hid for 5 years. There were some reports saying that she even considered suicide. That's how bad it was for her. But these women just slaughtered her. So there was no support for her whatsoever. And half of the women, well, actually 75% of the women who were slaughtering Linda also succumbed to cosmetic procedures, whether it be Botox, fillers, getting your hair done, makeup, whatever. Do you see the hypocrisy that I'm pointing out there? I know it's a long way of going there, but I have to take the long road with you boys. But basically, these women issues are massive. And this week I felt like was a tough week for the women, whether it was Linda or it was the Down syndrome lady who was signed for Victoria's Secret. JD, you saw that.
I did see that too, actually.
A Down syndrome model was signed for Victoria's Secret. Did you see the comments?
And then they touched her up, right?
Oh my gosh. So so they sign her. So if you're going to sign models that are representing, different types of bodies and different types of abilities, that's great. But embrace those differences. Right. Don't Photoshop them out. So they soften all of her downs looks, they softened that. So you can go to her Instagram and you can compare it and you can see that they softened it. There's Chris K.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
gosh.
saw that. Yeah,
All right,
that's what I
let's
was
wrap it
laughing
up.
at.
There's Chris.
Yeah. We're done.
That was my little rant. But basically, it boils down to women had a hard week, I felt like, in the news. And, you know, guys, it didn't come at the hands of you all. And, you know, I love to jump you guys. I enjoy it every Sunday. It did not come at the hands of men. The men were supportive. It was the hands of women slaughtering women this week, and I hate to see that.
Right? Yeah, that's sad. Here's something we didn't even talk about because I forgot about it. But what about 50 Cent? Did you see how way he got treated on social media?
I saw that. Yes,
and is that
I
like
did.
so? That's always. I'm with you, Don. It's always been a woman thing, right? Like the women always have had to keep that image, and the hair's got to be perfect. The skirt's got to be ironed. Whatever. You got to be perfect all the time. Women have a lot of pressure on them. But poor 50 Cent put on 25, 30 pounds in 30 years or 20 years. And they took him to the woodshed this past week.
And JD, did you see who was doing it? It was women. This seems to be a one-sided issue. Did you guys as men, did you guys watch the Super Bowl and give two craps about what 50 Cent's body looked like?
No, I was bouncing up and down. I was loving
Honestly,
it. Yeah.
the only thing that I thought was, well, look at there, he's upside down. But no, I was enjoying myself. And then I get off of the Super Bowl and then I get on Facebook, and the same people who are making fun of 50 Cent for gaining weight literally have gained an extra 50 to 100 pounds in 20, 30 years themselves. I don't know where people get off being so superior on another person's looks. The last time I checked, to me, comes from within. Honestly, I know Reagan's a full-fledged model. I know women who are stunning. And just as soon as they open their mouth, they will make you want to vomit. Beauty comes from within. It doesn't come from what you look like or what you weigh or anything like that. But I've never seen, I don't know what's going on with females, but we have got to calm it down. We literally are so bored with cutting each other down that now we're cutting down a 45, 50-year-old rapper for wearing a wife beater and having an extra 30 pounds is insane.
What was weird, though, was like, and you can kick back on this. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but I almost feel like had that been a woman, she would have been like, oh, women are beautiful in all shapes and sizes. But since it was 50 or a man, like he's free game. You know what I'm saying? Is that?
Well, I don't know.
Am
I off base at all with that?
Let me say this real quick.
I don't know.
I don't know because of the way the women have gone after the women this week.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They did.
And so
they went after Mary J too.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yes.
I thought her outfit was crazy awesome. Yeah. And honestly,
let's be honest, Snoop Dogg stole the show.
Of course,
yeah, he did. He did good. Now, see, I lean toward Dre. I'm the OG, so I'm like all about Dr. Dre. But yeah, he was. I thought it was a great show. Did you guys enjoy it? I mean, I thoroughly loved it. Yeah.
Finally, somebody from the 90s got control of that thing and did it up right.
Did you?
I was waiting for a Tupac hologram.
Me too. When they did California Love, if they would have put a Tupac hologram out there, I would have went.
That would have done me in. Jimmy Dawn, did you see where millennials and Gen X was arguing over who the show was made for? Did you guys see that? It was like a whole culture war.
Oh, really? No, I hadn't seen that. All I know is I loved it. I don't care who they made it for. I thought it was fantastic.
They made it for this guy right here.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar was tiny.
Yeah.
Stephanie.
Oh yeah,
he was. I was kind of shocked by that too.
I didn't know who he was, man. Really,
and he came out of nowhere. He was kind of him and 50 Cent both kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't.
Well, I love the 50 hanging upside down thing, and then Don sent us something. This is me getting my trying to plug my phone up.
That's exactly what I look like when I'm trying to get my phone charger.
But but that's how the video started. Was him hanging upside down. That in the club video. That's how it started. So I thought it was cool. Like the whole thing, I thought it was cool. My children thought I was an idiot because I was back there just bouncing. I mean, I was having a great time. Next to Prince, maybe the best show I've seen.
I mean, I thought it was good.
I liked Eminem. And you all know how we just love our children. I don't know if you guys saw the picture, but there was a picture being shared of Eminem's daughter and Snoop Dogg's son because they're very close friends because they've grown up in that same circle. And somebody took a picture of them and they just look like, just little proud babies being just they're enjoying their, their parents. I thought it was a really fun Super Bowl show. I enjoyed it a ton.
Yeah, I just thought it was
fun.
weird to kickback for I just thought that was a weird flex, man.
Well, the whole thing
of all the things you pulled out of that was Eminem or that
50 Cent gaining weight.
Yeah. I gained weight too in the last 30 years.
Since the 90s.
I mean, we all have.
He still looks a lot more in shape than I do.
Dude, he's still got cannons for arms.
I saw all kinds of, just cruel things being said, like they were gasping for breath when they were rapping and things like that. Nobody ever said, I don't know. It just didn't seem like nobody said that about Aerosmith and people like that who were clearly older when they did their Super Bowl shows years ago.
The Who did
we have really
show.
changed.
Oh, yeah.
We've really changed and we've gotten very divisive and cruel.
Well, and that honestly concerns me, Don, as far as like the whole, especially I think about it more from, the women's side because I have daughters, but even as guys, the first thing somebody will come up and say to you, which blows my mind, is if they've seen you after 20 years, man, you put on some weight.
They do. You guys go. I have heard that they did that to Todd, and I'm like, Lord, if they did that to women, we'd be end up crying.
Yeah.
If they do, they come right up and like, well, I see she's feeding you well. I'm like, what in the hell? Where do y'all come up with that? Yeah, you guys definitely have your own little show going on.
But it concerns me though from the social media aspect of it.
Well, that's what I was about to ask about. So,
yeah,
I do feel like social media has given everybody such a voice that we're desensitized to.
Oh, absolutely.
Human compassion or human.
Absolutely.
And there's no chance that somebody's going to punch you in the nose if you say something like that to their face.
Yes, that's right, Jimmy Don.
But some of it's funny, man. It's funny. It is funny, right? Like I giggle at some of the 50 Cent things. Some of them are funny.
I guess you can laugh on the inside, but you never need to say things like that to someone's face because you never know what people's going through. But social media has opened up so many unrealistic expectations for both men and women, but specifically for women. I mean, now let me tell y'all. I'm tall, I'm thin. I do nothing for that. So people are like, what do you do for your weight? I do nothing for that. That's just pure genetics. That's not bragging. You can take it or leave it. I pass out if I don't eat. Like I've got my own things going on being thin as someone who's being overweight does. I love to put bathing suits on. I love to take pictures, but that doesn't define me in the least. But you have to be sensitive to people who see those things, see those images and think that that's what you need to look like. And it's not. We all look different. We're all shaped different. We all need to be able to be confident in who we are. And that comes from moms. If you're a mom and you're standing in front of the mirror and your little girl is standing there, or your son, because you guys have opened my eyes to tons of things that's going on in the guy world too. If your kids are standing there and they're looking at you and you're in the mirror going, I'm too fat or I'm too this or I'm too that, you can guarantee your kids are going to carry that burden with them on and on and on. So it starts at the house. I can see images all the time. Does not do a thing for me. You can have big old knockers compared to my little ones. I couldn't care less. Mine's work just as good as yours does. Doesn't influence me in the least, but it does a lot of people. You know why it doesn't influence me? Because it never influenced my mom. A handful's all you need anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, but I guess the big concern for me is that, back when we were in school, before social media was really a thing, if you were having a problem at school, right, you went home and you were done with that until the next day at school.
Yep.
Now, you can't get away from it.
There's no escape.
Yeah, there's no escape. And that, from the mental health aspect, I think is a concern. And that's the part that always concerns me about seeing women going after women or dudes going after dudes. I've always said that women scheme on a completely different level than boys do. They're a lot smarter than we are. So it's, they scheme on a completely other level and they can be very brutal.
Women, girls are like, they are vicious each other, man.
Oh, they make movies about us. They make movies about us doing this because this is what we set out.
Don could have starred in it, JD.
Yeah.
She froze up and gave me.
Somebody would have been picking
on.
on her though.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, nobody picking on me. I've never been picked on in my life. Anyway, but yeah, we set out. It seems like females. First off, it seems like females walk around completely threatened by other females, and I'll never understand that. Or they're just perpetually pissed off. I don't know what's going on with them, but I don't get it. And I'm a girl. I have ovaries, uterus, the whole nine. I don't get it. I'm not that person. I really think it's how you're raised, how you were raised with your mom and dad. And then some people, you're just going to have some people who, they're just a sandwich short of a picnic, and you're just never going to hit it right all the time. But ultimately, it's how you guys are as fathers with your daughters and your sons, and it's how I am as a mother. And then you prepare them for everything you can. But sheesh.
But I think, honestly, like at the end of the day, there's just a lot of insecure people in this world.
Yeah.
And they're threatened.
That's because nobody's getting laid enough. They are
threatened by people who aren't insecure. Yeah. I'm very secure with who I am, man.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are turned off by my security. Like that I'm cool with me. Like I like me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm overweight, but I'm cool. Yeah. I get it. I know what I like in the bedroom. I know what I like to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very secure with who I am.
That's
and
right.
A lot of people I feel like are threatened by that. And it bothers them because they have so many insecurities that they project. And since you're not insecure, like you come across as being a prick. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be a prick. I'm just know what I like, man. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't worry a thing about it. Do you, JD? Because honestly, really people just need to log off social media and go take your husband to the bedroom, take your wife to the bedroom, and release some of that stress. And then maybe when you get out of the bedroom and you log on and you see 50 cents gain 50 pounds, it won't tick you off as much.
Right. Jimmy, what do you think about that?
No, look, dude, I am very confident in myself. Like, as far as like when I look in the mirror, I don't see that I've gained 40 pounds. I'm just like, God, I'm handsome. That is, I am handsome. Okay. No, but as far as now, I will say that over the years, there were times that I struggled with confidence. And some of that was I don't know that it was confidence. It was contentment. I was never content.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Right.
And I have lost that. As far as I don't really care what anybody thinks now. I'm me. The people who know me the best know who I am.
Right.
And they love me, and that's all I really care about.
Yeah.
As long as my wife and kids, my immediate family, including you who know who I am, I don't care.
Yeah. There you go. That's how I am. And let me be clear, guys, and everybody watching. I just had a destruction appointment 2 weeks ago. I paid $300 for my dermatologist to remove sunspots. I wear sunscreen. I have creams that run me around $600 every 2 months. I do all of the things. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm so secure that I'm not coloring my hair and I'm not putting makeup on and things of that nature. Absolutely. I'm doing all of that. But when it comes to confidence versus, arrogance and all of this confusion when it comes to wanting to attack other women, I do what makes me happy. Those creams make me happy. Getting my hair done makes me happy. Taking care of my husband makes him happy, but it also makes me happy. It's not a one-way street. Right. I don't live my life worrying about what my friends do. I totally live it worrying about what.
Oh, Don, you're trouble.
Yeah, getting all kinds of info here on the Just That Bourbon podcast.
And first and foremost, I think it's also, I don't mean to be religious, but it's also about, I put God first. And I know we all talk about, our religion, and Jimmy, Don, you're with me, and JD's everywhere. But I think about, as long as God's okay with how I am, then I'm okay. Like, I actually had a person ask me, because I will post, and you guys know this, because I make you all uncomfortable.
You make me uncomfortable. I'll post after you
know me. So it's not coming from a bad place, but you guys know me. But people who don't know me are like, oh, look at her. She's putting out this pic or this video.
So that's what I'm talking about.
It has nothing
that's what I'm talking about, though. That bothers people because they're not secure enough with who they are to do that, to post that picture. I guarantee people didn't like me taking that crazy picture in my shorts when I was acting like you.
And I loved it.
But
I think it was so fun.
I'm cool with me, man. I'm cool.
Exactly.
I have a customer who is, she's one of the sweetest people I've ever met. but
Mhm.
she is a plus size girl.
Sure.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But she is overweight. And she actually has this massive social media following because she is so positive
Right.
about who she is that people send her clothes and she's got boxes of clothes for her to try on. And she just told me, she was like, it's just, I'm happy with who I am. I know that I've got issues. I'm trying to work on my health, but I'm happy with
Yeah.
who I am. And she said it would blow your mind how many people try to attack her on
Oh, I'm
her
sure.
social
Yeah.
media followings because
Yeah, there's no doubt.
she
Because
is
she's
happy
fine
with
with
who she
herself.
is. Yeah,
Right, yeah.
she's happy with who she
Great.
is.
Right.
That's
I want
I really, yeah. You know, I've always taught my girls, confidence is the biggest weapon that you can take into a room. I mean, your body and your face is one thing, but how you present yourself is exactly going to get you what you want. And Charlene, let me tell you, my sister-in-law, this is my sister-in-law, everybody.
okay. Hi,
She
sister-in-law. Hi, Charlene.
that's Charlene. She is stunning. When she first come into the family, she's just always been pretty. And I remember thinking that her makeup was on point. She was so beautiful. And she's right. People would always say, "Oh, she's so pretty. She has such a pretty face," and that she's telling the truth.
Right.
And that is how I grew up. People would say, "Oh, you know, this one's pretty or that's pretty," but their face is pretty. And y'all have heard it too. Ain't none of us
Sure.
lying up in here. People will say that about people who
Yeah.
are more overweight, and they're like, "Oh, their face is pretty." That is the rudest thing that you could possibly say. I mean, what are we
Yeah.
doing?
We understand the insinuation, our bitch.
You know, I don't get where people just get to where we're all in a place to where we're so superior that we can look at people and go, "Oh my God, you're so hot," except for this, you know, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
your influencer friend. I get where she's coming from because she's confident in who she is. And that and her confidence I adore. But when it comes to being an overweight influencer, then she is going to get pushed back because we're in a time to where we have to balance. Do we want to push being overweight and accepting that? Or do we want to say, hey, we can't cherry pick science. Obesity does bring harm to your body. We have to find this balance to where we can protect people's mental health, but we can also encourage them that, hey, we don't need to settle for being overweight and being happy about it. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with what you said.
No, it makes
Like,
sense.
there's
And
got to
that's
be
one of the things.
there's got to be that balance because people's lives are on the line. You don't want them to be, oh well,
Right.
being fat and overweight and obese is just fine because I'm happy with me. But
Yeah.
also, you do want people to be happy with them.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't want
Well,
to
was it
be breaking down
Adele
from them.
that lost all that weight and then people got
Oh,
mad at her because she lost all that weight?
Yeah, Jimmy Don, I forgot about that.
And Rebel
Yeah.
Wilson too. Like
The
she was a
comedian.
heavier woman and lost all that weight, and people destroyed her because she lost weight and
They
got
did.
healthy.
Well, yes, and I applaud them because let me tell you, having surgeries and doing extreme diets or doing whatever it is that they have to do to lose and to get down to the size that's appropriate for their body is extremely hard. And I applaud them for doing that because it takes a lot to do that. With Rebel Wilson, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the girl though that made her debut with the song "It's All About the Bass,"
No, that's
no
Meghan Trainor.
treble?
No, that was
Oh,
Meghan
well, let me
Trainor.
go after her too. So Meghan Trainor did that. So that was her song. It's all about the bass, no treble. And now she's treble. She lost all that weight and now she's thin and she got rolled over the coals too. I don't know why everybody's so obsessed with women's weight. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's women. It's women. It's
Yeah.
not men. Men don't care. You know what men care about? They care about TNA. That's what they care about. You know, so when it comes to ripping people's weight, that's what I like how JD goes, right?
Look, Don, I don't know what you're talking about. I care if mine can cook. I didn't get this size by not liking to eat.
Oh no, you care about Amy because she's hot too. That's a
Of
total,
course.
that's a total factor. She's a beauty too, so that's what you care about. But men don't tend to get tangled up in it as much as women do. Women have got to back off of each other. Back off of each other. Don't worry about what we weigh. Don't worry about what we're wearing. Did you guys see the Texas coach, the real hot black Texas coach that wore the pink pants? That was breast cancer awareness pants. Did you see
I didn't see it.
Mm-mm.
Male
and
coach or
heels
a female
on.
coach?
I shared it on our
Yeah.
podcast. She's a girl. I think she's like in her 30s, and she's a D1 ball coach of a female team. I think it's Texas A&M or it's one of the Texas schools. I can't remember. Anyway, she dresses. To me, it's appropriate because there again, I don't care what you wear, but she had these like really shiny vinyl pink pants on and high heels and a white blouse, and it's all form fitting. They ripped her apart. It's been on NBC. It's been on Good Morning America. It's been all over the national news. So when I text y'all and said this is women, it's been all these women's stories, and it's been about our bodies. It's the
Well,
skater in Olympics.
I have not seen this, but for the sake
Crazy.
of research, I'll look it up.
Stephanie, okay, so see, Stephanie can help me out. Caitlin, see all these girls? She looked gorgeous, and they ripped her up. And you want to know why they ripped her up? Had she been a not attractive woman, then she could have bathed herself in pink paint, and nobody would have.
So it's almost like
said
this
anything.
what it comes down to.
But
Here's what
because
it comes
she's
down
hot,
to. You can't make everybody happy. That's just all there is to it. You just can't. If you're fat,
nope. That's why I just said.
Make fun of you because you're fat. If you're skinny, people will say, "Oh, she looks like a stick." I mean, you just gotta. That's why it's important, again, to be happy with yourself and do your own thing, man.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And use your body. You live one time. Don't worry about how much you weigh.
I gotta stop using mine. I ain't him, man. I swear to God. I know you're all tired of hearing me sound that simple. But I'm telling you.
Well, let me ask you this question: do you think a lot of like our confidence comes with age? Because these kids, man. I mean, it was hard growing up, right? Being a kid ain't easy. I remember what it was like growing up. There is a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of you fight over girls. You just whatever. As males, you're trying to get your position. You're the versus the alpha males and things like that. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I just know as time went on, for me, I just started caring less.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just I don't care, and I don't care what people think. I'm just going to be me, and as long as I'm good and my family's good, I'm good.
Sure.
Yeah. I really struggled with confidence in high school. I didn't have much confidence at all. I'd walk around like I know people are shocked to hear that, but that's true. Like I'd walk around with my head down, and I always had friends. I was always popular. There was a problem, but I just didn't have enough. I didn't have confidence in myself and who I was. You know what I'm saying? I guess those are weird years, man. Right? Your teenage years. You're learning who you are. You've got all these hormones going crazy. So yeah, it does come with age, I think, Jimmy Dons, because sometimes it takes a minute to figure out who you are, man. Right? And so
sure.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out who I am in some senses.
I don't even know what I want to be when I grow up.
Now everybody I know is going to be shocked to hear that I was the opposite, and I don't know where it comes from. I'm an anomaly. I'm completely unique, and this is not being arrogant, but from the time I've never remembered a day that I have been confident. Matter of fact, half the fights that I got into was because if the girl made me mad and she had a boyfriend, I would put her boyfriend in a compromising position just to prove that I could.
Wow.
I like this awkward silence.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? I mean,
you're talking about putting somebody in a compromised position. I'm all ears, baby. Let's
go. Expand on.
And I don't know if it was confidence or if it was arrogance or if it was a mix. If Michelle and Sam was on here, they'd probably back me up. I've just never truly cared what other people thought, especially if I thought you as my enemy. It's not that I set out to hurt your feelings. It's just I set out to let you know that if you keep pushing me, then I will hurt your feelings.
Well, I think we're talking about two different things almost. Like I never, it wasn't that I cared what people thought about me. It's that I just wasn't sure who I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I never was in the popularity contest, and I didn't never care about that, man. I always stood up. Whoever I was, that's who I was.
Yeah.
All the time. That's who I am.
JD, I bet you always had that though. I know Jimmy Don did because we were, what was you, a senior when I was a freshman or something?
Yeah.
I talked to everybody. That's how I knew Jimmy Don in high school. I just didn't know him, but it was, I was literally in every circle. And I think because I had the luxury of hanging out with people who were considered the bottom of the barrel to people who were considered the heap of the hill. I think hanging with all them made me confident because they made me better.
Yeah, I was exactly the same way. I didn't have, at lunch I could be sitting with any group, really. I mean, I could be sitting with the guys from the smoking section, or I could be sitting with the preps. It didn't matter to me. I didn't care.
Yeah, and I'm completely authentic about it. Like I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less if I'm. Yeah, it just doesn't bother me in the least. Nothing. But I do agree with Jimmy Don when you get in your 40s, and I told Reagan this other day because Reagan, as well as she does in her modeling career, she is not made like me. And Charlene and Amber listen, they're probably right now giving an amen, but she's very sweet and very just always calm and nice. And I'm like a little fireball all the time.
Right.
But I tell her, I'm like, Reagan, the first thing you need to do is quit worrying about what your peers think. Go hit that runway. Don't only worry about what the designer thinks. Hit your runway, take your photographs, only care about what your agents are asking you to do. Just put it out there.
Right.
But that's a luxury I think that Jimmy Don's pointing at. It comes when you hit your 40s, because right now I could not care less what people think. I love everybody, but it don't mean I like them, but I love them. But I just don't care what they think.
So I'm going to take this. I know that we've been on this a long time, but I got to ask this question. I almost feel like it's been a detriment to me that I don't care what people think so much, because maybe it needs to a little bit. You know what I mean? Does that make sense at all? Like maybe it's good to care a little bit what people think about you.
Well, no, look, for me,
I don't think so. I think you're thinking of two different things, don't you, Jimmy? I
do. I know, like there's some ways as far as there's two me's, okay, and this is the truth. There's the professional me that I put out, and as my profession, people have to trust what I do, or else they will not do business with me. Sure. They have, they can't think of me in one way. Now, and then there's me, and who I am behind the scenes. Now, I am very much the person that you see on this podcast. I like to joke. I like to carry on. There's probably, like when it's me and JD talking, I probably talk in a way that I wouldn't talk, just to anybody, because JD's my friend, and I'm going to share a little more of myself with him.
Sure.
As far as I think JD's very outspoken. At times, JD, you just happen to live in a place where 99% of the people don't agree with your thought process, and I think that's your biggest problem. So as far as that goes, it's the way you think about things, and a lot of people aren't like me and Don, who at the end of the day, I don't really care what you think about politics. You and I aren't going to necessarily get on here and argue, and you're going to change my mind. Now, you have helped me expand my mind through some of these debates. So has Don. But I like JD. I know for a fact, if Amy was broke down somewhere 10 hours from here and I couldn't get there, if I called JD would be on the road. And that's what I know. And so it's, and I think everybody has a little bit of that. Like I said, there is a professional that I put out because I am that person. But there's also the me that, is more relaxed and, and just me.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I think, JD, what you're saying is you should care about what people think, but you're not talking about like with you individually, or as like what your looks are or what your interests are. I think you're thinking about maybe other people's feelings or whatever. But honestly, I don't think that has anything to do with you. I think it's with our culture. Yeah. And you guys, honestly, our culture, Eastern Kentucky, looks to be on the defense all the time. We're ready to fight all the time. Our tact, we don't even have tact. I don't even know if we can define it half the time, because sometimes you'll see responses on things. I had to learn that. Like when I had my first supervisor position, they said, okay, you're on track for an executive position, so you have to go to these special classes. And I'm like, well, why? And they're like, you have no tact. And I'm like, what the hell? Where did you get that from? Where did you get that
right there.
They would tell. They literally had to take me down and say, look, in email, instead of saying it like you've got to do it this way, you need to like reword it to where you get the best out of your employee. And I think that you're seeing a lot of our culture, and it seems like they're kind of attacky, and it's because they are. We attack. That's just what we do. And I hate that, but we're softening up on it a lot. But there's different ways to and then it doesn't seem like you're hurting their feelings. I think they just attack you because you're the liberal in the Republican county.
Right.
But as far as like your looks, and, yeah, as far as how we all look and stuff like that.
But I think that also bothers people that I don't back down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
Like,
and which is part of our culture. And honestly, we need to loosen up on that. There is nothing wrong with backing down on some things.
Sure.
I've had to learn that. I back down a lot, believe it or not. I back down a ton. But because
I wish you started doing that on here. So.
I know, right? Geez.
I would rather, yeah, I know. I wish I could go around just being mean. And I don't know, Tom said, I think you're getting softer. And it's not that I guess I am getting softer in some ways, but as I get older, when I die and have to talk to Jesus, I don't want to go, well, man, I shouldn't have called her stupid 5 times. You know what I mean? I probably should have just said, okay, and back off of whatever we're arguing about. Sometimes it's just not worth fighting about everything, and you have to back off.
Chris K hasn't met hillbillies then. Is all I know, JD. The people you're talking about, you ain't met a real hillbilly.
He's just talking trash, bro. It's fine. He's in Texas. He nowhere near us.
He don't even know.
He's in Texas.
Oh, well, look, I know we had some other topics tonight, and we're at our hour, but I really like the show that we did. I think this was a solid show. I don't know that we really need to get into this other stuff. We can jump into it next week. What do y'all think? Do y'all want to talk about some of this other stuff, or do you? I kind of like the show that we did. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I'm good with whatever y'all want. The audience can pick. I thought that was a good one, though.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed that. And it went a completely different direction than what I guess what we'd intended. Yeah, no, it was just. I thought it was.
We did not.
It's an important conversation.
Yeah.
Sure.
It is. Ultimately, that was a really good show. So I'm good.
I do want to put this out.
Really, yeah, sure. I mean, it's rare. It's rare that we're not fighting. And this time we basically told everybody to be happy with themselves and, sleep with your husbands and wives and have a good week.
You said that. JD and I didn't say that, Don. That was you.
Sleep with your local single guy.
But I am going to make sure that Amy comes and listens to this. I'm just saying. No, what were you going to say, JD?
The one thing I do want to put out is, as we get closer to the debate dates, which we're going to set very soon, we're shooting for April. I think first or second week of April.
Yeah.
We want to get questions from our audience members. You can just message us anytime on our Facebook, and we'll, if it's a good question, we'll use it. We may ask you to read it during the debate.
Yes. So
just debate questions, absolutely send them our way.
Yeah, and share this post, especially with it having some debate information on here. Share this post, that way every other people can share it, because we have lots of big issues that we need to talk about in Martin County, and these debates will give a lot of answers from our candidates. And thank you to all the candidates who were very quick in accepting our invitation. We really appreciate that, and we're looking forward to everybody.
Yeah, no, and shout out to the Mountain Citizen. I spoke with Lisa about this the other day. She's the editor of the paper. She's excited about it. And kind of going back to the old school days of doing things is, getting out. And I think it can be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm looking forward to moderating, and I'm looking forward to getting up there and discussing with the other candidates what their ideas and visions are for the county. Sure. It's look, JD said, this is an important election, people. So make sure you're sharing this stuff. We'll get as many people out there so that we can make a good decision about who our public officials are and how they lead us into the next decade. So
that's right. If you have kids that are in the Martin County school system, then you want to show up at this debate. If you have kids that you want to have a chance to live at home and be able to visit their cousins and be able to see your grandkids, you want to be at this debate. You want to put these leaders, these rising leaders, under the fire and say, hey, what are you going to do to get me a job? What are you going to do to help us progress? Guys, it can happen. Martin County does not have to be left time for new people to take the reins, and let's get going. So show up at these debates. We're so excited to have Mountain Citizen and all the media there. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So anything else we want to add before we close out here?
No, I feel like we had church. All minds.
I enjoyed that one.
That was a
I'm
great
sorry,
show.
Don, you froze up on my side. What did you say?
I said I felt like we had church.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one.
No,
Yeah.
it's all good. Well, all right, we'll wrap it up there, guys. I enjoyed that show. I feel like I had some therapy. I don't know. I don't know.
Same.
Just like talking it out. Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Of course, you know where you can find us on social media. Don and JD kill it on the Facebook post. I absolutely love that. I've actually started reading it. And I know that's sad. I'm on the podcast and I don't look at our Facebook feed, but I've started because there's a lot of good stuff out there that they're putting out there. So go check that out. Of course, as far as the podcast is concerned, iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, anywhere that you can find a podcast, you'll find us there. As we end our show every week, from myself, from JD, and from Don, no matter how bad your week's been, no matter how bad your day's going, if you just add bourbon, it always gets a little bit better. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.